Welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello, everyone. I'm Karen.
And I'm Mike. And today we are in day 2 of our look at the best of the bard. Everyday English phrases from Shakespeare. Yesterday, of course, we learned about a green-eyed monster.
That's when you feel jealous, right? If someone is doing really well, and then you feel jealous. And it's like a green-eyed monster, right? What's the other one?
That was from Othello, of course, the famous play. I think Othello is often jealous of his wife, and Iago, his friend, was jealous of it. There's a lot of jealousy in Othello. And then we also had cruel to be kind.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, being mean to someone, but you're doing it to help them. In other words, forcing someone to do something they don't want to do, but you know it's good for them. You're being cruel to be kind. Of course, from Hamlet. Hamlet is one of the, we said it's probably his most famous play. It's also really interesting if you can ever watch Hamlet. The number of song titles, book titles, other titles of other things taken from Hamlet is amazing.
That's true.
It's like a greatest hits of the English language.
And you were telling me that every time you're back in Canada, or you always go and watch the show, right?
Yeah, there's often in summertime they have Shakespeare festivals, sometimes in a park, sometimes outdoors when the weather's nice. You can sit outside under the stars in the evening with a blanket, and they have a bunch of wonderful actors. And that's kind of how Shakespeare was first performed, right? They had open-air theaters. They didn't have like electric lights, so they had candles everywhere. So it's kind of a neat way
I think they
to
have
enjoy
those
Shakespeare.
In Toronto as well.
I think
I've heard of them
Central
before.
Park in New York they have it. So it's a really wonderful thing if you ever get a chance. And don't worry, I often bring my wife. She's from Taiwan. She doesn't understand it all. I don't understand it all. But you often have a guide and you can ask questions. And so it's just a really good form of entertainment. And the actors, of course, bring it alive. If you can see one of the comedies, the funny romantic comedies, you'll follow along. It's all good fun. So anyways, we're going to look at a couple more English phrases from Shakespeare. And the first one is, I don't know what it is. I don't understand it at all. So let's find out about it. It's Greek to me. This phrase has been uttered by generations of students looking at their textbooks, as it refers to something hard to understand. It's famously used by Kafka in the play Julius Caesar, after he hears someone speaking but has no idea what was said. Brave New World. No, this isn't an Aladdin song. That's a whole new world. This is a phrase from Shakespeare's The Tempest. In the play, the character Miranda grows up on a remote island. When she first meets people from the outside world, she uses the phrase to show surprise and wonder at the possibilities of the future. Nowadays, we still use it to describe completely new situations. All right, we are back with more wonderful English phrases from Shakespeare. And remember, these are everyday phrases. So even though they were written 500 years ago in these old plays, you will still hear or read these phrases today. You might hear people say them or see them in a movie or read them in a book or somewhere. So it's just good to know this stuff. What is our next phrase that comes from Shakespeare but is still around today?
Okay, well, the next phrase is, it's Greek to me.
Really? But it's written in English. You should be able to understand this.
Well, let's talk about it. This phrase has been uttered by generations of students looking at their textbooks, as it refers to something hard to understand.
I got it.
It's Greek to me, like I do not understand it. I don't understand what I'm reading.
Right. Now, it could be, of course, a language that you're referring to, or if someone's trying to explain to you a math problem or how chemistry works or how to operate this new video game they got. It's all Greek to me. So it's a good term to use for anything really that just you don't understand, as if someone is speaking to you in a language you don't understand, like, say, Greek.
That's right. And then generation is the word that we're looking at, and that is a noun. A generation is a group of people born around the same time and who have gone through similar life experiences. So, for example, the younger generation is used to using technology in everyday life, but And when we were little, we didn't really have that.
No.
We just had books, and then we played outside, and then we just watched TV, right?
That's right. When I sit in front of a computer, I still bang it with rocks because I don't understand technology.
We didn't know how to type. We didn't know how to do anything on the computer.
Exactly right. We would send messages by pigeon.
That's right. We would write letters and just send letters.
That's how we would do it back then. Yes, all right. So yes, the generation might understand certain things that other people might not. And they might say, it's Greek to me. Like if someone tries to explain TikTok to me, I might go, oh, it's Greek to me.
Right.
But where does this phrase come from? Well, we know it comes from Shakespeare, but exactly where? It says it's famously used by Casca in the play Julius Caesar after he hears someone speaking but has no idea what was said. So basically he's kind of going ting budong or something like that. Yes, the famous play Julius Caesar, one of the shorter plays, and I think a lot of people study this one in high school. If you ever get Shakespeare in your high school English class or something, and Casca is the name of a character from the play, and he was confused by what he was hearing, so he said, it's all Greek to me. So there you go. It still exists today. Next we have Brave New World.
Brave New World? Not a whole new world, but a brave new world.
A brave new world, exactly. It's a title of a very famous book by Aldous Huxley, and I think probably some music albums and songs and stuff like that. But as you mentioned, no, this isn't an Aladdin song. That would be
A Whole New World.
Lovely, very well done, but it's not that song. So it's A Whole New World from the movie, but this is A Brave New World. And then we learned this is a phrase from Shakespeare's The Tempest. In the play, the character Miranda grows up on a remote island. All right, so one of the characters in this play, she's living on a remote island. If an island is remote, or if a place is remote, it's just very far from anywhere else. And we also get the idea that it's really hard to get to, right? A remote place won't have a train line or a bus line or an airport there. It's very, very far away. If you think of like Hawaii is pretty remote, right? You
away from everything
else. Fly for
else.
hours from any part of the world to get there because it's kind of off there on its own, far away from anything else. For example, the cabin is in a remote area far from any city or town. Lovely for a holiday.
That's true.
But a terrible place to live if you work in the city.
Okay, well, let's continue. When she first meets people from the outside world, she uses the phrase to show surprise and wonder at the possibilities of the future.
Okay. But nowadays, in modern English, we still use it to describe completely new situations. Okay, so if there's a big change in your country, or if you travel and start to live in another place, you could say it's a whole new world. People might say things like
Brave New World.
A brave new world. People might say things like AI will bring on a brave new world.
Absolutely right.
It's going to be very different, and it might be challenging too. That's the other idea with a brave new world. The world is not brave, but we kind of have to be brave to face all of these big changes and how things are so different nowadays or in the future. And that phrase nowadays is a very useful adverb to use to talk about the times we are living in now. We're not saying exactly today or this week, this month, this year, but our time as compared to when our grandparents were alive or in the future when, young people 30 years from now, how they will be living. But nowadays, another word we might use is in contemporary times, our times, the times we are living in now. For example, nowadays, more people are choosing to shop online rather than in stores. And of course,
that's what I do.
In the past, people didn't do that. They couldn't.
Because it's really, really convenient to do that.
It's a brave new shopping world.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. And we're also looking at this word here, situation, and that is a noun. You use situation to refer generally to what is happening in a particular place at a particular time, or to refer to what is happening to you. For example, you could say, she calmly handled the difficult situation at work. Maybe the boss is giving her a really, really difficult time, and she's trying to manage so many different tasks all at once, but she calmly handled the difficult situation.
Good for her. She managed things that were going on. And we're going to do that by taking a break, but then we'll be back.
Hello,
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们今天要继续来看看源自于莎士比亚的日常英文。那下一个用语是 It's Greek to me， 对我来说都是希腊语，也就是我完全不懂的意思。好，那么课文提到说，一代又一代的学生看着课本时会说出这一句。It's Greek to me， 因为它指的就是某件事难以理解。好，那最著名的用法就是在这个凯撒大帝这出剧当中，卡斯卡在听到某人说话，但是完全不懂对方在说什么的时候，就用到了这句话。单字 generation 它表示世代一代。我们再来看下一个介绍用语是 Brave New World， 美丽新世界。那这是出自于莎士比亚的《暴风雨》。剧中的角色米兰达在一个偏远的岛屿上长大。当他第一次遇到来自外面世界的人时候，他用这个词来展现对未来可能性的惊讶还有赞叹。到现在，人们还是会用 Brave New World 来描述全新的情境。好，单字 remote 这个形容词形容遥远的、偏远的。Nowadays 这个副词则表示现今、如今。Situation 则表示情况、形式。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。我们来看这个用法 have no idea 表示不知道、一无所知，后面可以接用 WH 疑问词所引导的名词子句，像是 I have no idea why they didn't show up， 我不知道为什么他们没有出现。好，接着课文中。
Good riddance. This is used when you're happy that something you don't like has finished or when someone you don't like has left. It first appeared in Shakespeare's 1602 play Troilus and Cressida and has been common in English ever since. So, in honor of Shakespeare's birthday, see how many of his famous phrases you can use. Perhaps you'll tell your teacher, "It's Greek to me," if you don't understand something. Or you might say "good riddance" to your homework once you've completed it all.
Welcome back, everyone. So before the break, we were also looking at the useful phrases from Shakespeare, right?
Yep.
For example, when we say it's Greek to me, it just means that you're reading or trying to understand something, but it was really hard for you to understand.
That's true, but you should keep trying because it's a brave new world.
Ah, what does that mean?
And you might want to be prepared for all the big changes that are coming along and happening. But if I get it, don't be affected by the green-eyed monster. Don't feel too jealous.
Okay, I will not.
Okay, I'm sure. All right, what's next?
Okay, the next phrase that we're going to learn is good riddance.
Hey.
Good riddance, what does that mean? So let's get into it. This is used when you're happy that something you don't like has finished or when someone you don't like has left. So if I don't like Mike and then he left the room, then I can say good riddance.
Yeah, and I'm sure you... No, you won't.
I wouldn't say that. You're my friend.
Nice person. But what is that word? That's a kind of an unusual word. Riddance.
That's right.
You don't often use it outside of this phrase, actually.
That's right. So riddance, that's a noun. Riddance is an informal noun that means to be pleased that something unwanted or bad has gone. So for example, you could say, he's gone back to Cleveland in a huff. And good riddance.
Wow.
You're happy about that.
You really don't like that guy. Yeah, so when you get rid of something, that's another way of saying throwing something away, right? You get rid of what you don't want by putting it in the garbage. And then you get rid of the garbage when the garbage truck comes. So we do have RID as a word to mean throw away or toss out, but riddance is really often only used with this term, good riddance. I'm glad to say goodbye to that. It first appeared in Shakespeare's 1602 play Troilus and Cressida and has been common in English ever since. It really has. I mean, people use this quite a lot, and I'm sure 90% of them don't know that it comes from Shakespeare. It just means I'm glad that's over or I'm glad that's gone.
That's true. So in honor of Shakespeare's birthday, see how many of his famous phrases you can use. It's pretty amazing, you know?
If you could write a whole sentence using the phrases we've talked about today and yesterday.
Probably.
That would be a weird sentence. All right, but yes, do try to use them in honor of the Bard or William Shakespeare. Why not? His plays are wonderful and they have been entertaining people. I mean, that's kind of crazy. They've been entertaining people for 500 years. That's pretty good. All right, so yes, we definitely want to honor him or show him some honor. If you do something in honor of someone, or if you honor that person, we can also use it as a verb. You are showing them public respect for something that they have done. So an honor is sort of like a prize or an award. When people stand up and clap at you because you did something good, they are doing that in honor of you. We might have a parade for someone, maybe a special holiday for that person. You know, if it's a really special person, might put their face on the money or on stamps or something. We do that to salute that person, to publicly say, good job, you. For example, they held a parade in honor of the soldiers who served their country, right? I think a few months ago, they had a parade for the baseball players.
Oh, that's right.
Who won the big tournament. They did that in honor of all of their hard work and their great play.
Exactly. Okay, now going back to the article though. So perhaps you'll tell your teacher, it's Greek to me, if you don't understand something. Or you might say, good riddance to your homework once you've completed it all. So, phew, I'm finally done. So you can try to use these phrases in your everyday life, right?
I think that's a great idea, and I think that would be a wonderful way to use it. Finish all your homework and then say good riddance. Don't just throw your homework in the garbage and say good riddance.
Finish it first.
That would be accurate, but it would also be a terrible mistake. So finish the homework and then say good riddance to all that extra work, and then you can go and have fun. So what do you think? Which Shakespearean phrase do you think you might be likely to use in your day-to-day life?
Well, I don't know. There are just so many of them that I find really useful. I would probably use it's Greek to me. Oftentimes my friends try to tell me something, I get lost, I don't understand if I'm reading an article, and I can say it's Greek to me.
All right, you've inspired me. A brave new world is a phrase I would use to express how a lot of technology is Greek to me, but I should accept that it's a brave new world and I should give it all a shot. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to be back with more good stuff. See if you can find some Shakespeare around that you might enjoy. It's okay to watch it with Chinese subtitles,
That's
too,
okay, that's right.
if you find a movie or play. But do enjoy yourselves with this wonderful work from this great author, great playwright. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you guys next time.
最后介绍的用语是 good riddance， 总算摆脱了。那这是用在你很高兴不喜欢的事情终于结束了，或者是不喜欢的人终于走了的时候。那它是出自于这个莎士比亚1602年的戏剧《特洛伊罗斯与克瑞西达》。好，我们补充一下 riddance 这个名词表示摆脱、释放。这个字其实通常就会用在 good riddance 来表达说总算摆脱了，总算打发走了。Karen 老师在解释时，他用到 unwanted 这个形容词是形容不想要的或是多余的，而老师在讲 good riddance 的例句时有用到 in a huff。in a huff 可以描述生气的、恼怒的。课文最后提到，为了纪念莎士比亚的生日，来看看你能用几个他的著名词语吧。像是当你一完成所有的作业时，你就可以说 good riddance， 终于摆脱了。我们来看一下单字 honor。honor 当名词，它表示荣誉、名誉。in honor of 加名词就可以表达为了纪念什么什么，向什么什么来致敬。那这边有两个重点，我们进入文法时间。我们来看第一个重点是 ever since 的用法。那首先 since 可以当副词来表达此后、从此。since 还可以当介系词后面接名词或动名词，或者是当连接词来接子句。那这时候它们是表达说自从什么什么以来，而这些不同词性的 since 前面都可以加入 ever 作为强调。ever since 常常就会搭配完成式来使用。我们看两个例句。They had a fight last Monday and haven't talked to each other ever since. 他们上周一吵架，从那之后两个人再也没有说过话。Mia has wanted to be a singer ever since she was a child. Mia 从小就一直想要成为歌手， 那第二个重点是 once 主词加动词，这表示一怎么样就怎么样。once 在这边当连接词来引导副词子句，表达某事一发生，另一件事就跟着发生。那么 once 加主词加动词这部分可以摆在主要子句之前或之后，相当于 as soon as 加主词加动词。例如 I'll text you once I get there， 或是 I'll text you as soon as I get there， 我一到那里就会传讯息给你。好，那么以上这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
It's Greek to me. This phrase has been uttered by generations of students looking at their textbooks, as it refers to something hard to understand. It's famously used by Kafka in the play Julius Caesar, after he hears someone speaking but has no idea what was said. Brave New World. No, this isn't an Aladdin song. That's a whole new world. This is a phrase from Shakespeare's The Tempest. In the play, the character Miranda grows up on a remote island. When she first meets people from the outside world, she uses the phrase to show surprise and wonder at the possibilities of the future. Nowadays, we still use it to describe completely new situations. Good riddance. This is used when you're happy that something you don't like has finished or when someone you don't like has left. It first appeared in Shakespeare's 1602 play Troilus and Cressida, and has been common in English ever since. So, in honor of Shakespeare's birthday, see how many of his famous phrases you can use. Perhaps you'll tell your teacher, "It's Greek to me," if you don't understand something. Or you might say "good riddance" to your homework once you've completed it all.
Hey, it's KiWi on the street.
I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie.
And Winnie, I think it's time for lunch because I'm a hungry hippo.
Hippo, where? Oh, we need to protect ourselves.
No, I'm saying like I'm a hungry hippo because I'm so hungry.
Okay, and hippos are usually very hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess it's time that I practice my phrases.
It's time to work on some phrases. So, a monkey's aunt or a monkey's uncle?
A monkey's uncle.
Okay, what do you think?
Then I'll choose the opposite.
Oh.
A monkey's aunt.
A monkey's aunt? A monkey's aunt?
A monkey's aunt. I'm sorry. It's a monkey's uncle. But it's okay. You have another try. Like a rabbit in headlights or like a horse in headlights?
Like a rabbit in headlight. I think... a rabbit?
Like a rabbit. Why not a horse?
Horse is huge?
Oh, so they're not scared, right?
Maybe.
Like a rabbit in headlights.
I'll choose the next one.
Oh, really?
Like a horse
Okay.
in headlights.
Okay, like a horse in headlights. I'm sorry. She's right again. 12 points. So it's like a rabbit in headlights. What did we learn today?
We learned some new phrases today. Let's take a look at them. The first one is a monkey's uncle. This phrase is used to express surprise or amazement, sometimes even disbelief. One origin of this phrase is thought to come from people that disputed Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Darwin's theory, of course, was that humans evolved from apes or monkeys. And at the time, the theory seemed ridiculous to people. So, to express amazement, they would say, "Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle." Our second phrase is like a rabbit in headlights. This phrase is used to describe someone that is so shocked or confused that they can't think of anything to do. The phrase is believed to originate in the 1980s, referring to animals crossing the road and encountering a car. They're so shocked by the headlights of the car that they freeze in the spot and they don't know which direction to move. And that's all for phrases today. KiWi later!